I was shy at first, but since she was very social, she made things easier. We ended up clicking together and ended up bonding over the dumbest things. I started finding out things about her that I would have never guessed she liked. When our project was done, we still agreed to hang out afterwards and got closer. I couldn't stop thinking about her, and I finally had the balls to ask her out one day. It was our typical hangout and I brought up the question about us. She looked at me confused and asked what I meant. I told her that I've been having feelings for her for a very long time and asked her if she wanted to become more than friends. Her smile faded away and said, "I'm sorry, but no." There was an awkward silence for minutes that felt like forever. She broke the silence and said that she had to go, and walked away. I tried texting her and apologizing about what happened, and told her if we could just forget about it. She never responded to my messages. When I saw her again during class, it was as if she erased me from her memory. During this time, my friends started going to the gym and always asked me to come. I was never interested until they told me to put out my anger towards working out. It helped me become distracted, and I started eating healthy. The more I got distracted, the more I started to care more about myself, and even decided to take studying more seriously. By senior year, I was 5'11", weighing at 180 pounds of lean muscle. I graduated and went to a university where I told my parents that I was planning on going to med school to try and become a doctor. They were very proud, and I was proud of myself too for my accomplishments. First day of college went smoothly until I went to my bio class. I sat down at the nearest empty seat during lecture to find a familiar face when I looked to my right. It was Ava. The rich popular girl rejected me, but ended up marrying me in the end. Part 2. I quickly turned away and wanted to take another look to see if that was actually Ava. I turned around again to get a glimpse, and it was actually her. She still looked beautiful as ever, and the feelings I had back in high school came rushing to me again. I wondered if she was still the same Ava from high school, or was she any different? I was curious, and throughout class, all I could think about was trying to decide if I wanted to talk to her or not. I decided why not, and went ahead and talked. I think I scared her a little because she thought I was just a random guy. She looked at me closely and realized that it was me, and she smiled. We started a small conversation together to eventually talking about our majors and plans for the future. It was ironic how both of our plans for our futures together aligned. I knew the conversation was bound to die anytime soon, so I went ahead and asked if she was doing anything after class. She told me that her next class starts in a couple of hours, so she was probably going to be at our school's union to do homework and eat lunch. I nervously asked if she wanted company after class, and she said sure. We started talking more and more and even started going to each other's houses to study. She was my best friend, and I was hers. As much as I wanted to ask her out again, my pride didn't let me, and knew that if something was going to happen, she would be the one to make it official. After a couple months, we decided to go eat out at one of our favorite restaurants together near campus. We ordered our usuals and sat next to each other. Afterwards, she looked at me and said, "So, are you going to make a move?" Afterwards, she looked at me and said, "So, are you going to make a move?" I was startled and started smiling. I joked and said, "Why do I have to make the move?" She smiled back again and grabbed my hand. "There, is that enough?" she asked while she was blushing. At this point, I was freaking out and my face probably looked like a tomato. But as any regular guy, I played it cool and kept my calm. I held her hand tighter and said yes. We went out the restaurant holding hands and laughing together. Then I brought up high school and asked her what happened. She looked at me and apologized. She told me she had feelings for me back then, but couldn't date anyone because of how strict her parents were with school and pushing her to become a doctor. She told me she had to prioritize school and couldn't let any distractions get in the way. I smiled and finally got the closure I needed for me to let go of that past. I wanted to focus on the present and my new relationship with Ava. Years passed by, and eventually we both got into med school together where we ended up becoming doctors. Those years were tough and a lot of debt was made. Well, for me anyways. My parents gave me the biggest hug after graduation, and my mom was excited that she could finally brag to her Asian friends that her son and daughter-in-law are doctors. After a couple of years, I proposed to Ava where she gave me 2 beautiful children. Ava and I have been happily since, and recently went to a vacation to the Philippines together.